Kia ora New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us as we count down the weather forecast to Christmas Day, and in fact even Boxing Day. And as I said yesterday, it wouldn't be a Christmas in New Zealand without some sort of offshore weather system for us to all keep an eye on. And this year it is the north. We're looking at a subtropical low coming down, which may or may not bring rain. It's still looking borderline, but it perhaps looks like the northeastern corner of the North Island is most exposed. So that's Bay of Plenty, East Cape and Northern Hawke's Bay. Let's start off though with the Wednesday wind map, and you can see that colder southerly, or at least it's coming in as an easterly for some of you, but this is a colder southerly flow for the South Island. I've already seen a couple of tweets this morning on the Weather Watch account saying it doesn't feel anything like summer at the moment. That cooler system doesn't reach the North Island until Thursday, and that's where we start with the rain maps. So that system is moving in there. It's nothing major, but there will be a colder, depending on how you look at it, southerly or southeasterly arriving for Wellington, Waited Upper, and really the lower North Island. Everybody else got patchy showers, and the nor'westers turn southwest later on. No big temperature drop, and there might be an isolated thunderstorm as we transition from that warmer nor'wester to the slightly cooler southerlies. Then we get to the end of the week, and there's not much in the way of wind. It'll still be a little cool around some parts of the south and the lower North Island. Low pressure there, so we'll see a bit of drizzle in the morning and perhaps a couple of afternoon downpours, maybe an isolated downpour or two in the North Island. Otherwise fairly dry for Friday. Saturday's also fairly dry across New Zealand, but there will be a couple of showers in the North Island and perhaps a couple more in the south, especially the lower South Island where there's this little area of low pressure. Everything you see on the map here is low pressure on Saturday. So this system rolls in later on. It might be dry for the most part, but later on showers arrive and then patchy rain later towards evening in Northland. Sunday, my apologies. Sunday, and that low starts to drift out over past the North Island, but it might still hang on a wee bit with some patchy showers, dry spells coming back. In the South Island, you're caught up a little bit in that system, mostly North Canterbury up towards Marlborough, dry for everybody else. So let's go to next week now. We start off with Christmas Eve, and this is the low that we've all been sort of focused on. It's somewhat connected to the remnants of Cyclone Owen, still sitting up there, not a cyclone, but still a low. And this is some of the leftovers. So we might be getting some rain and showers around the North Island, especially that northeastern side on Monday. And then let's go to Christmas Day now. And that's a close-up of that same low. So it's not looking like it's moving. But yesterday when we looked at the same map, that low was way off to the north. So it's stuck between this big high out to the east and another big high out over the Tasman. So this one is one to watch, but if this one moves in, if the high moves in a bit faster, that low will be gone by Christmas Day, and the borderline areas are all on the edge here. So that sort of Napier, Taupo, Hamilton, Auckland, Whangarei, you might have showers, you might have some patchy rain, or it might be completely dry. We're right on that borderline, but it perhaps looks a little more likely that some of these northeastern areas might get some rain on Christmas Day. And then we go to Boxing Day, that low moves away. So you can see why there is uncertainty, but it looks a little windy with the sou'westers, and that looks to me like the high out here is not joining forces with the high further out to the east, and instead that low starting to carve its way through the two, which means the high retreats a wee bit and you end up with a windier sou'wester for Boxing Day. Of course, this could still change. The high out here to me is the dominant feature. So if that grows a little bigger, moves in a little faster, that low doesn't have much of a chance. But if that high weakens, the low comes in and we've got a wet Christmas Day for some in the north. So that's how it looks at the moment, still borderline. You have to watch a couple more videos this week, I'm sorry, and I'll have to still make a couple more, so that's a downside to me too. I've still got to keep working. And I keep seeing all the tweets of everybody getting time off. No, I'm only kidding. Love this. So that is all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest update as we track the weather for Christmas Day.